quite sure what happened there. We're gonna try to get it situated now. Let's see. So probably not connect. Whatever. Um, Apparently one of the situations they're having an issue here. Not really gonna worry about it as long as I can go ahead with what I was doing. I'm fine. Right. Um, Hopefully I'm live again, guys. Hopefully everybody's hearing me. If anybody is in the chat, please speak. Put something in the chat bar so I can know you guys can hear. Have you? Anyways, let's see. Should be good to go. I'm gonna do this. I don't know why the one is not working though. I have to, I guess, test that on a different time. So let's get into this. Oop, oop, oop. There we go. Here's where I was at. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here.
And found herself stuck at the bottom of the loop.
You guys should be
She pulled herself out through an escape hatch, but she experienced several injuries. Nonetheless, the Aqua Loop continues to be a popular, albeit dangerous, slide at Wet n Wild.
Hey, I'm Mike.
I don't know if I
Dylan,
would
and
get
we're the
into.
ride guys here at Universal Orlando Resort. So if you're ready, we're ready.
Let's see if we can skip this. But yeah, I don't know
In
if I would
fact,
get
the
into.
park itself is the busiest water park.
I don't know if I would get into a slide that looks like a time chamber or whatever that was, because yeah, I'm not about that life. That's too much.
Park in Australia and the 8th busiest water park in the world. Thousands of sliders ride the dangerous Aqua Loop annually. Number 8. The Black Hole, Wet n Wild, Orlando, Florida. The Black Hole water slide is an inline tube slide located at what is considered to be America's first water park. Wet n Wild Orlando is owned by NBC Universal and was founded by the creator of SeaWorld, George Millay. The menacing black tubes of the black hole look ominous, and rightfully so. The black hole has faced numerous lawsuits over the years, including a $1.73 million payout to a man who was severely injured in 1994 when he struck something during the ride. Part of the danger of the slide stems from the timing of the ride. It takes a two-person tube 23 seconds to complete the ride. However, the staff is told to send people down at 20-second intervals. This does not leave enough time for people to safely exit the ride before the next riders are sent down, making it a dangerous sliding experience.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine going down a slide, a water slide, that you and your family are supposed to go there to have fun or what have you, and just because of the way the ride's set up, or whatever their preference is, you're almost like going headlong into other people. That's not okay at all. That's terrible.
7. The Steamer Slide at Calypso Water Park, Ontario. The Steamer Slide at Calypso Water Park, Ontario is a...
1 second, guys. I gotta check this nature video. I think you'd find them funny. Have funny comments. Watch it on your own. This next vacation should be a water park. Nah, I don't think. As far as the reaction, I'll definitely take that into consideration. I'd have to look up what that is. But as far as my next vacation being a theme park, water park, some of these water rides, I don't know about all that. That's too much. I haven't seen one that's these are the most dangerous slides. So yeah, I don't think I want to go on any one of these.
Dangerous tube slide that has repeatedly injured its riders. In fact, in 2015, Calypso Water Park was facing 20 separate charges from injured people. Riders of the Steamer Slide sit on a tube, slide through a dark tunnel, and then spin around a bowl.
I should make my cam bigger. Let me see if I can do that. I kind of didn't want to do that on the stream, but Why not? I guess. Here, let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger for you. Maybe that'll help.
However, when the slide was investigated, it was discovered that the steamer slide had developed a buckle in an area of the slide that was causing the tubes to flip over. The Technical Standards and Safety Act, which oversees Ontario's amusement park rides, accused the park of negligence and of not having the proper equipment to ensure the safety of its riders. And although some of the charges were dismissed, the park was found guilty on 6 accounts, resulting in a payout of $500,000 in damages.
I mean, that looks like a really cool concept, the way the two rides come together and they're kind of like side by side. But I'm assuming that any ride that you guys go on or are open to, there's always going to be a possibility of some level of danger. So I don't. But I would assume they also do a lot of things to like minimize that too.
The sheer volume of injuries attests to the dangerous nature of the steamer slide. Number 6. The Vertigo Slide, Aqualandia Water Park, Spain. The Vertigo Slide in Spain's Aqualandia Water Park is the highest water slide in Europe and the highest capsule slide in the world. The slide, which opened in the summer of 2013, took 2.5 months to build and stands proudly at 110 feet. The Vertigo Slide is actually 2 slides, the red slide being the taller of the 2. Sliders stand at the top of the slide on a trap door, which is opened by an operator who presses a button. Once the button is pressed, the trap door is released and sliders are plunged down a 3-second slide
way too
where
fast
they
for
can reach
me.
speeds of 100 kilometers per hour. The ride itself and the speed the riders experience is dangerous. However, the trap door presents its own dangers. In July 2014, the trap door failed to fully open, and a man was severely injured when he was sent through the partially opened trap door. The man and his injuries were attended to by park staff, but the slide was reopened a mere 10.
The trap door failed to open. Ugh. Worst vacation
after the incident. Needless to say, this dangerous slide made headlines in the news as a result. Number 5. Cannonball Falls Action Park, New Jersey. The actual Cannonball Falls water slide itself is not that dangerous, but at the end of the slide, sliders are sent on a 10-foot drop into the pool below. The fall of Cannonball Falls has resulted in countless injuries and was plagued with problems right from its opening. In fact, Cannonball Falls has the highest number of reported injuries of any water slide in the entire state of New Jersey. Sliders have reported shoulder, neck, and head injuries as a result of the 10-foot drop into the water. The park was actually told to shut down the slide at one point, but despite numerous injuries, the slide remained opened and sliders kept on sliding and kept on getting hurt. Cannonball Falls is located at Action Park, New Jersey, which is notorious for its dangerous rides. It has been nicknamed Accident Park and Class Action Park due to the obscene number of reported injuries. Number 4. The Scorpion's Tail, Noah's Ark Water Park, Wisconsin Dells. Noah's Ark's Water Park is a 70-acre water park with more than 50 attractions throughout the park. In fact, Noah's Ark is the largest water park in the United States. It is also home to one of the most dangerous slides in the world. The Scorpion's Tail is a menacing water slide where sliders are sent.
Here's one thing you need to do before you start your holiday shopping. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
Watch this. I can show you how to get the sweetest deals online when you shop.
On a harrowing ride, including a 55-foot drop, a 70-degree angle plunge, and a 60-degree angle loop. When the slide first opened in 2010, it was the only water slide in the world to have full loop-de-loop and was the first upside-down looping body slide. Although it is not the fastest slide around, sliders do reach a speed of 30 miles per hour while on the 400-foot-long slide. They also wait in a coffin-like chamber at the start of the slide for the floor to fall out from under them. And when they do get to the loop, they are 27 feet in the air.
What's with
The
these trap
Scorpion's
doors
Tail
on these
cost
things,
$1
man?
million US to build, and despite its dangers, it remains a crowd favorite amongst water slide enthusiasts. Number 3. The Leap of Faith, Atlantis Water Park, Bahamas. The Leap of Faith is a beautifully constructed water slide that sits on a lovely Mayan-themed temple. The Leap of Faith, though, despite its beautiful setting, has been called the scariest water slide in the world. The Leap of Faith, which opened in 1998, consists of a near-vertical 60-foot drop. And as if the drop weren't dangerous.
Well, before we continue, though, the ride that they're describing is called the Leap of Faith. Why did they think it was going to end any other way? Like, that name doesn't say, all right, well, this is going to be the safest place for me to go.
Enough. Once the drop is complete, riders are sent through a lagoon of sharks. Sliders, somewhat safe inside a clear acrylic tunnel, are sent whizzing through the lagoon, where sharks approach the tube. Some sharks are literally only inches away. The sharks, which are hammerhead and Caribbean reef sharks, swim freely in the lagoon as sliders swiftly slide past, praying that nothing goes wrong with acrylic tubing. Number 2. The Verrückt, Schlitterbahn Water Park, Kansas City.
Yeah,
The Verrückt, which is German for crazy or insane, was destined for fame when it opened on July 10th, 2014.
Yeah, it
was the tallest water slide in the world at the time. The Verrückt, at 168 feet, cost a staggering $3.6 million to build. And although it did achieve fame as the tallest water slide in the world, it also achieved infamy, as an accident on the slide led to the criminal arrest of the park owner. A 10-year-old boy was killed on the slide when his raft went airborne. Investigations pointed to a number of unsafe aspects on the slide. The nets surrounding the slide were deemed unsafe, the restraints on the raft were deemed unsafe, and the ride should have had an unstop mechanism installed to prevent rafts from going airborne. All in all, the Verrückt was a dangerous slide that did not meet safety standards. It was shut down on August 7th.
The fact that they said that this thing is going airborne, I don't know what type of metal wiring that is on the top of it, but the metal wiring on the top of it, it looks like you could probably go through that if you had enough force, God forbid. And that just doesn't seem like the type of situation you want to put yourself in. And then they named the roller coaster Crazy, of course. But that makes it better.
Definitely 2016. Number 1. The Cannonball Loop, Action Park, New Jersey. A park that is nicknamed Accident Park is sure to have more than one dangerous water slide. And although Cannonball Falls and its 10-foot drop is one of the most dangerous water slides on this list, Action Park is also home to the most dangerous water slide ever built. One look at the insane Cannonball Loop and you can see why this water slide could pose several safety issues. Cannonball Loop, which was an enclosed water slide with a complete vertical loop at the end, has a set of disturbing stories surrounding it. Before the slide was officially open, the owner of the park reportedly offered to pay employees $100 to try out the slide. The employees suffered nosebleeds and numerous injuries while sliding. Furthermore, when the park owner sent a dummy down the slide, the dummy apparently came out the other side without its head. However, despite these massive red flags, the slide was still opened. Shortly after its opening, though, a woman got stuck at the top of the loop, forcing the park to install an escape hatch should it happen again. Needless to say, the Cannonball Loop didn't last long. It was shut down by the advisory board on Carnival Amusement Park ride safety after only 1 month due to safety issues. Clearly one of the most dangerous water slides of all time, the Cannonball Loop has slid its way into the top spot on our list of top 10 dangerous water slides. Check out my previous video on the top 10 largest avalanches, and remember to subscribe.
Alright, that's one video here. It's another one I wanted to check out here. So I think it says the 15 scariest attractions in the world.
Other attractions are generally thrilling and fun. The ones in today's video, however, are dangerous and scary. They're among the most death-defying and downright insane rides ever designed. Let's take a look at the top 15 most scary attractions in the world.
The fact that this man said he would give everybody $100 to get on the roller coaster, and people were hurting themselves left and right. Once a dummy came out with no head, should that have not been like the end of this whole escapade to begin with? But no, we just gonna keep it going. Why not? Why not do more? Cause you know what I seen at first wasn't enough though. I had to do more. More had to. I don't.
Rasa. Roller coasters are the most intense attractions at every amusement park around the world, and designers continue to push the limits of what's possible while keeping riders safe. The perfect coaster mixes speed, the sense of danger, and insane twists and turns to leave guests thoroughly shaken and entertained. And by far the scariest of all is the Formula Rossa at Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi. First opened in 2010, it's a hydraulic launch coaster that boasts the fastest speeds in the world. It accelerates to 149.1 miles per hour in just 4.9 seconds. And throughout the ride, passengers experience loads of up to 4.8 G. At 1.4 miles long, it's also the 6th longest steel coaster in the world. But because it travels so fast, the ride is over within 1 minute and 32 seconds.
Man, listen.
The idea is that it replicates the feeling of driving a Formula One car.
I'm sorry, guys. The question for me then is like, so are we going on vacations to kill ourselves? I mean, not to, you know what I mean. Are we going on vacations to unalive ourselves, for lack of better terms? Is that the thing? Cause that's what I'm starting to think the thing is. It's like, why? Like why? Like what's the purpose of this? I'm not sure.
And it certainly delivers.
Yeah,
Traveling at such a velocity doesn't come without its risks,
no
though.
way.
Everyone is required to wear safety goggles to ensure that
There's
air
no way.
pressure doesn't damage their eyes. And the ride can only operate during clear weather conditions, because any rain or dust particles will feel like heavy rocks smashing into you when you're moving at these speeds. Number 14, Tianmen-shan Cable Car. Even though they've been used for decades to access difficult-to-reach mountainous regions, there's something about the way cable cars are suspended.
I know I'm pausing this a lot, but did he say dust particles are gonna feel like heavy rocks traveling at those speeds? Is that what he said? Hold on, I gotta rewind this because I could have swore that's what he said.
To ensure the air pressure doesn't damage their eyes, and the ride can only operate during clear weather conditions, because any rain or dust particles will feel like heavy rocks smashing into you when you're moving at these speeds. Number 14, Tianmen-shan
Why would you
Cable Car.
want to put yourself in that
Even though
situation?
they've been used for decades to access difficult-to-reach mountainous regions, there's something about the way cable cars are suspended in the air solely by a thin wire that continues to scare and thrill tourists the world over. We know in our minds that it's a relatively safe way to travel, but in the moment, with such extreme heights involved, they manage to make you...
Man, you said everyone has a price? Yeah, no. 1,000 subscribers and you can go ride the man, listen, ain't no way. The coaster at Carowinds, I mean, you'll probably have a better outcome doing that, though.
Even the most hardened of people cling for dear life. Without a doubt, the most frightening and stunning cable car experience anywhere in the world is at the Tianmen Mountain in China, where it takes passengers from the city center of Zhangjiajie to the Air Garden, which is on the 4,980-foot summit. At a length of 4.6 miles, it's the longest cable car in the world, and it takes 28 minutes to complete the journey. And this is one of the steepest cable car inclines you'll ever experience, at more than 30 degrees at points. Some of the most beautiful mountain scenery anywhere on Earth, and very little sign of human activity. You can't help but wonder quite what would happen if any of the machinery went wrong. As with all cable cars, this one is closed during high winds and unfavorable weather conditions.
EVE to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you...
Get this out here.
And if you just so happen to be on board when this happens, it's potentially a long wait before operations resume once more.
No bunny suit. No bunny suit.
Number 13, Insanity. Las Vegas is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world, attracting people from far and wide to take advantage of the range of attractions and shows that are on offer. But if the excitement and fears of the casinos aren't enough for you, then you should visit the northernmost resort on the Strip, the Stratosphere, which has some of the most frightening rides on Earth. It's the second tallest observation tower in North America, but it's not content with the fright of offering visitors panoramic views of Sin City. At the top of the structure, you'll also find several...
Oh, did this thing just lean forward so you could feel your intestines and your forehead touch? Is that what just happened? I don't have time for that. That's too much. Like, no sir. I don't know.
Must hold you out over the edge. Probably the most gut-wrenching of all is appropriately named Insanity. That is a spinner ride where guests sit on a claw-like arm before being rotated beyond the side of the building and then spun until they can't take it anymore. At a height of 900 feet above the ground, this is definitely not one for people with vertigo. And there have been several occasions since it opened in 2005 where, due to mechanical failure, people have become stuck on it for more than 90 minutes. Also featuring a roller coaster and vertical drop ride, it's no wonder that the Stratosphere has become a popular addition to the Strip for extreme ride enthusiasts, and why it's often said to be one of the scariest attractions in the world. Number 12. Kilimanjaro Water Slide. Named after the tallest mountain in Tanzania, the Kilimanjaro Water Slide at the Aquasquentes Country Club in Rodovia, Brazil, currently holds the record of being the tallest water slide in the world.
Can you imagine being stuck on a roller coaster or whatever that was, that spinning object, for 90 minutes? 90 minutes, an hour and a half against your will. And then trying to go back on there again? I don't even think, no.
Just under 164 feet high, it hasn't always maintained this honor. But because it's proven to be a safe design, it's been able to keep operating since it first opened in 2002. The structure towers over the rest of the water park and can be seen for miles around. It's a body slide, which means riders don't use rafts on it, which makes it all the more scary when you start the descent. Because with an incline of 60 degrees, you'll soon be reaching speeds of up to 62 miles an hour. It's said that at least 1 in 3 people turn back once they reach the top and see what's in store, which is all the more surprising considering how long it actually takes to climb the stairs, but proves just how scary the slide actually is and how brave you need to be to take it on. There have been taller slides in the past, but with extra height comes safety issues that parks have yet to overcome, so it's likely Kilimanjaro will remain the biggest water slide for many years to come.
Would I ride something
Volcano
like that?
boarding.
No. No. You couldn't pay me enough to ride something like that. I love my life too much. I'm just not interested.
Since the invention of skateboarding, people have been looking for other ways to enjoy the thrill of using a board to move at fast speeds and perform tricks. And while you have heard of wakeboarding and snowboarding, have you ever heard of volcano boarding before? It has its roots in sandboarding, which became popular in the 1970s and 80s, but with the added complication of steep slopes and the volcanic surroundings, it takes the danger and thrill to a whole new level. Because you need specific conditions for it to be possible, there are only a couple of places around the world where volcano boarding is possible, and the most popular is on the slopes of Cerro Negro in Nicaragua. Riders climb the steep slopes with their plywood boards and then slide down the side, either sitting or standing, along the smooth volcanic sand. As it's an active volcano, extreme caution must be taken, and riders are required to wear safety gear to prevent injuries. There's a risk that you might be hit by flying molten lava. And
did he just say safety gear? What kind of safety gear? What kind of safety gear can you have on that's gonna stop thousands of degrees of heat? Where they make that at? I want to know what possesses you to take yourself to an active volcano and use it like a playground or recess. What? I ain't got to this part of life yet. I'm not. No. Yeah, My life pretty regular.
There's a real concern that inhaling the dusty particles and gases in the area can cause serious damage to your lungs. Still, there's no extreme sport quite like it, and it would surely be more popular if there were more volcanoes where it could be done. Number 10. Blaukranz Bridge. While various communities around the world have used methods similar to bungee jumping for centuries, the modern-day activity like we think of it first took place in the late 1970s by a group of extreme sports enthusiasts from Oxford University, and it would only be in 1986 that the world's first commercial bungee jump operator would begin trading. Since then, people have seemingly attached bungee cords to virtually anything they can think of, but while records have been set from unbelievable setups, the venues available for ordinary people to jump from remain much less precarious. This doesn't take away the thrill of a jump, though, and the current highest commercial bungee jump in the world is at Blaukranz Bridge in South Africa. People started first jumping from the bridge in 1990, and it's been operating in its current form since 1997. At a height of 709 feet above the Blaukranz River, there is no doubt that this is one of the most insane and scariest bungee jumps you can ever do, and one that only the bravest of people should attempt.
I mean, I guess if you're a thrill enthusiast, like you're seeking a thrill, then that makes sense. Like that you would want to take yourself to one of these places and jump off the side of a building to end up wherever you're at. But I mean, just being real, I don't. That's a little much. That's a little much.
Number 9. Ngoro. People have to live near where they can work, and as a result, it's not too uncommon to see once thriving villages around the world losing large numbers of residents when employment opportunities dry up as they're forced to move elsewhere. While most places that suffer this fate end up looking like ghost towns, there's a place in Japan that's become far creepier. The town of Ngoro is on the island of Shikoku, and in recent years has become known as the Doll Village. Once home to around 300 people, its population has plummeted to around 35. But a tradition that began in the early 2000s has now made it a strange tourist attraction.
What do you want?
I want a job that I don't hate.
In its own right. Tsukimi Ayano's family had left the area when she was young, but returned to look after her father when he fell ill. To pass the time, she decided to make a doll in his image that she placed in one of the fields. And she didn't stop there. She has gone on to make hundreds of them. Some that represent villagers that have moved away or died. Others that are effigies or visitors or completely made-up people. There are now at least 400 of them throughout the village and the surrounding area, all of which are positioned in lifelike poses. She's now not the only one who makes the dolls, with school children joining in and other remaining residents too. So we're constantly adding more people to the Top 5's production team to bring you all the best content. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on and hit the like button. Number 8. Boating at the Iguazu Falls. On the border between the Argentine province of Misiones and the Brazilian state of Parana is one of the most beautiful geographical formations in the world, the Iguazu Falls. According to legend, they were the result of a vengeful god slicing the river in half. You can see why people have believed this to be the case. It's where the Iguazu River passes over an area of soft bedrock, and the way it's carved its way through over the centuries now means that depending on the water flow, there can be as many as 300 distinct waterfalls in the region. As much as half of the water flows through a particularly treacherous area known as the Devil's Throat, which is a particular highlight for tourists who can walk along a trail right alongside it to take in the power of the falls for themselves.
Alright. Some of these names in these videos, man, I don't know if people are taking it upon themselves to research where they're going and what they're trying to do prior to going there. Obviously, you have to look these places up because you're not just running into them. But the Devil's Throat, tell me why. That's all I want to know. Why? Like, what condemns you to be like, all right, well, fine, I'm gonna go here. What provokes your thought process?
Those who want a more extreme experience, however, can take an inflatable jet boat tour, which takes them perilously close to the cascading waters. These tours are very popular because of the unparalleled views you get of the place, but obviously come with inherent risk. Passengers will undoubtedly get soaked, but there have been instances where the boats have capsized, and even one that vanished without a trace. It's one of the scariest boat rides you can take in the world, but surely one that's worth the risk? Number 7. Dracula's Castle, Transylvania. Visitors to the central Romanian region of Transylvania are often surprised to find such glorious countryside and mountainous terrain, but amongst the hills at an elevation of 2,500 feet is one of the most famous structures in the world, Bran Castle. For tourism purposes, it's more commonly known as Dracula's Castle, and is the closest building in the region to the famous location from Bram Stoker's stories. It doesn't bear any resemblance to how Stoker described the home of the vampire, however, and it's questionable whether the author even saw it. But with countless tourists visiting the region each year, locals needed a focal point to direct them towards. This means that while it wasn't necessarily the inspiration of the legend, the castle has now been inextricably entwined with the stories of Dracula, and as a result is one of the most scary and creepy places in the whole country. First built in the 12th century, it was mainly used as a fort to protect local residents and colonists from roving hordes. There's no doubt that it was an important refuge for enemies of Vlad the Impaler, upon whom the character of Dracula was based during the 15th century.
I want to know, has anybody ever been to a castle? Like, what's the appeal? What's the thing? I don't think it's something that I'd be interested in going to or living in. Even if you could build a castle and live in it. I don't think it'd be something that catches my interest. But what do you guys think about that?
There are even suggestions that the king was imprisoned at Bran Castle for a time. Other records suggest his time behind bars may have been somewhere else entirely. But because of its ominous and haunting design, Bran Castle was said to be the place to instill fear in his supporters. Wherever the truth may lie, you can't deny that Bran Castle is an imposing Gothic building and has a horribly creepy vibe surrounding it, after being central to the brutal history of the region. And it's certainly one of the most frightening places that you can ever visit. Number 6. Zhangjiajia Grand Canyon Glass Bridge. In recent years, thanks to the wider availability of tough materials, regions around China have begun installing a brand new type of tourist attraction, glass bridges that are completely see-through. There are now thought to be at least 2,300 of them in China alone, but the one that stands out above the rest is the Zhangjiajia Grand Canyon Glass Bridge. Stretching between two mountain cliffs in the National Forest Park, the 1,410-foot-long structure was the biggest glass bridge in the world when it opened in 2016, and is suspended 980 feet above the valley floor beneath. It's made up of a metal frame upon which 120 glass panels were placed, each of which is 3 layers thick of 2-inch tempered glass. Even though the rules of physics mean the...
So, what I'm getting out of some of these videos is like, the faith that some people have is astronomical. Cause like, so you telling me you would walk on glass? I don't care if they say it's bulletproof glass. You're gonna walk on glass above 500, 600 feet above the surface? Yeah, I'm not doing that.
The bridge should be safe. There have been several safety concerns about the design. It was closed just 2 weeks after the grand opening because so many people arrived to see it for themselves that it couldn't handle the loads. Having been designed to hold 800 people at a time and accommodate 8,000 visitors a day, more than 10 times the number were showing up, and urgent adaptations had to be made. If you're not scared enough just by walking over the bridge, then...
Listen, this man is forcing himself. Meanwhile, he's doing the stinky leg to walk across this bridge. Ain't no way. Why would you do, like, if you're already terrified of the idea of going across the bridge, I guess to face your fears, but I'm just, no. My man is about to lose it.
Operators have some tricks up their sleeves to make sure it's a day you'll remember. There's a harness swing attached to the bottom of it for thrill seekers, and there are employees whose only job it is to walk along the bridge with a sledgehammer and smash some of the glass of the top layer visibly cracks beneath people's feet.
Yo, hey, what?
5. Steel Dragon 2000.
Did you?
Steel Dragon 2000 is a steel roller coaster at the Nagashima
he
Spa
said
Land in the
crack
Mie
the
Prefecture of
glass.
Japan. When it opened at the turn of the century, it broke a number of records, and to this day it remains the longest steel roller coaster in the world, with a length of 8,133 feet. The track has a maximum height of 318 feet, with a drop of 307 feet. and trains can reach a top speed of 95 miles per hour, which makes it one of the fastest lift hill coasters on Earth. Beyond the usual thrills of helixes, hills, and sweeping turns, there are 2 tunnels along the route, and is often cited as one of the most extreme coasters you can ride on. Incredibly, it cost more than $52 million to build, which is far more than most steel coasters. This is because far more steel was needed in its construction to ensure that it would be able to endure an earthquake. And this is an ever-present danger if you do go on the ride. There have also been several accidents since it first opened, including one where a train lost a wheel and detached from the track, meaning you could be taking much more of a risk by riding this coaster than you would be with any other. Number 4, the Cage of Death. Even though humans have become the dominant species on...
So people's thrill seeking level is on a different level. Listen, if I go to a theme park and they tell me at one point or another the track or the cartwheel has come off, that is the shortest vacation I ever had. It's over. I'm gone. I ain't got time for none of that. I'm telling you right now.
On Earth, there's still plenty of creatures that can cause us serious harm if we get too close. This danger means that we're often fascinated by such powerful animals. And while shark diving is now a common attraction around the world, there's a place in Darwin, Australia that goes one better by putting you in an enclosure with a ferocious saltwater crocodile. Known as the Cage of Death, visitors are locked inside a 1.5-inch thick acrylic box and are lowered into the Salty's tank. A large piece of meat is attached beneath the cage to attract the croc towards the thrill seekers, and they are left there for 15 minutes while the 20-foot-long, 2,000-pound beast thrashes against the walls. As with all experiences like this, it's probably best not to read up about the safety record before you go, because if you do, you'll either decide against taking the risk or will be in for one of the most frightening times of your life. While every precaution has to be made to ensure that the Cage of Death is totally safe, there have been a few incidents that ramp up its danger. In 2011, one of the cables used to lower the cage broke, and the cage, along with the people inside it, fell into the tank. It struck the base, cracked, and a foot-long piece broke off. But luckily, on that occasion, the croc stayed clear and watched the panic ensue. Number 3, Edgewalk.
And here I am driving around with a seatbelt and car insurance because I don't want to get home to normal day-to-day stuff. And there's people just like, take me, Jesus, because this is what I need in my life right now. I need to go. Because apparently they're not trying to survive. That's not the surviving is not the thing.
115 feet high, the CN Tower in Toronto, Canada, is the tallest observation tower in North America, and after opening in 1976, had given millions of tourists a unique view out across the city, and one that tests their nerves. Of course, within the safety of the structure, only the worst vertigo sufferers face too many difficulties. But in 2011, a new attraction opened that would change all that. Called the Edgewalk, those who are brave enough can walk on the roof of the main pod of the tower at a height of 1,168 feet, attached by a harness. There's a 5-foot wide metal floor around the perimeter, and you can walk hands-free around it all. There's just enough slack in the cables for people to lean over the edge in an experience that really challenges you to trust the equipment. Unsurprisingly, Edgewalk is only open during certain times of the year during calm weather.
Yeah,
because the tower is often subjected to strong storms and covered in ice, which would make it far too dangerous, even with a safety harness. It's now become one of the most popular attractions in the city, and definitely one of the scariest things you can do.
It's no safety harness. It's built strong enough to ensure my faith in survival when I'm walking across this building. They don't make them. They don't. It's not possible. Like you know what? I'm gonna let y'all go.
Do there. Number 2, Mount Hua. Located in the Shanxi province of China, Huangshan is one of the 5 great mountains of China and has long been the site of religious significance. With 5 peaks, it reaches a maximum height of 7,070 feet above sea level, and there are a number of temples and structures over its slopes that attract visitors. If you want to climb the mountain, you can, but you'll be in for a terrifying experience along what is often described as the most dangerous hike in the world. There are narrow pathways, a frightening walk along a steep cliff on wooden planks without safety harnesses, and unpredictable weather patterns that can reduce visibility and cover the area in water within just a few minutes' warning. With increased tourism to the area and reports of fatal accidents, authorities have worked to improve the overall safety of the hike. They have cut wider pathways, built stone staircases, and added railings on the most dangerous parts. But even so, you take your life into your own hands by beginning the ascent.
Did they say
if you want to see what there is at the top and don't want to take such a risk, you can just travel up by cable car instead. Number 1. Yukon Striker. Roller coaster designs are becoming increasingly radical as amusement parks compete to attract the world's thrill seekers. And in 2019, Canada's Wonderland in Ontario put itself on the map with the opening of the Yukon Striker. This 3,625-foot-long steel roller coaster reaches a maximum height of 223 feet, reaches a top speed of 81 miles per hour, and currently holds the records for being the tallest, longest, and fastest dive coaster in the world. It also has the most inversions of any dive coaster, the longest drop, and is the only one to have a full vertical loop. The ride begins by climbing the 223-foot lift hill. Once at the top, the train hangs over the edge of one of the...
So you guys, please leave something in the comments or, in the chat. What is it the fact that the coaster is wider? Is that what makes it a dive coaster? I don't know what the difference is, or is it like how it's built?
90-degree drop for a few seconds before plummeting 245 feet into an underwater tunnel where it reaches its top speed. Cars then shoot out of the tunnel into the world's largest Immelmann loop before hitting a zero-G roll, a 360-degree vertical loop, and another Immelmann loop. Following this is an airtime hill and a 360-degree helix section before slowly returning to the station. In total, the ride lasts for just 205 seconds, but it's so packed with elements that there's hardly a chance to catch your breath. The Yukon Striker immediately became the scariest and most thrilling dive coaster on Earth, and is one of the best steel coasters of any type, and it surely proves that there's still a long way left to go in terms of roller coaster designs and the limits that can be pushed. It makes you wonder, what's coming next? Subscribe to Top 5s for more and check out some of our other popular videos.
Alright, yeah. Top 5 is definitely not my thing, but I appreciate them for supplying the video. Let's see, this is the last one here. 50 of the most incredible moments, looks like. Caught on camera.
Let's not hesitate. Give her a high five and let's enjoy the videos from today's excellent selection. A video that motivates you to keep lying on the couch.
Oh, Jesus. Man, that was close.
Every time you feel too lazy to clean snow off your car in the morning, just remember this video of a typical driver's morning in the far north. You have to admit, that's a good cosplay of that scene. This 54-meter-tall water tower was installed by extremely diligent workers. The foundation turned out to be very strong. Check out how much effort it took to demolish it.
They're taking off pieces of the structure and they're standing like, that is insane. I guess it was built pretty good. I wonder, there's no way they didn't clear the water out of it obviously before they demolished it. But almost 3/4 of the bottom of that thing was gone before they even it even tipped over.
This hurricane isn't frightening because of its destructive power. It's scary in a different way.
On the way.
Well, this guy definitely isn't bothered that gyms are closed during the lockdown.
That's almost what, like 1,000 pounds probably he just lifted. That's nothing, nothing to sneeze at. It's a lot of weight. What is this guy doing? This must be for like a movie scene or something. What is he doing this for? How is he jumping from one plane to the other? What's going on here? Man is in Mission Impossible 10. Like, what is this?
The dude is a damn genius if he decided to save money on washing and came up with this plan in advance.
I don't know anything about motorcycles. Guys, leave a comment and let me know, would that have flooded the engine to a motorcycle if something like that would have happened? Because I'm curious about that. Like, it looks like all of that would have probably ended up in the tailpipe.
After using this feeder, the squirrel will probably certainly have PTSD.
Hey, Marty! Come on over tonight for the Leafs game. Bring some cold ones.
Have you ever wondered what species will rule the planet after humans? The answer has already been found.
That's pretty smart.
Nice. There you go. Nice. Nice job, girl. Keep going.
Have we already told you the shopping cart wheels meme went viral again?
That's insane.
Boy, keep
He
going
must
slowly,
have broke the whole... Oh, man.
Yeah.
That thing is hanging on by a limb.
What you do? That's my paper.
If your boss does the same when you print your holiday request form, it's time for you to quit your job.
Wait, no, get your hands out of there. Go away.
Your pet cat probably acts the same way when attacking your arm or leg, but larger cats have bigger appetites. In the wild, this guy'd stand no chance. But when thick glass separates you from the predator, you can film a cool video.
That thing looks like it's ready to destroy. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh man, them things are not joking. I'd have been out of there. Ain't no way. Well, cool of. I'm a little confused now. I guess this was supposed to be a trick.
To all those who at least once saw their chips or cola stuck in a vending machine, we found someone who robbed you of your luck.
Oh wow. That's pretty crazy. They got everything there.
Of course, these guys are not like those girls in the pools with strange facial expressions, but it also looks nice.
Oh yeah, that's sick. That's a lot of skill, a lot of I'm sure that takes years of practice to be in sync like that. They was at the shop bored for that. The pocket. Yeah, after spinning around like that, you probably can't even move.
Never say these words to a squid.
Oh! What was...
Looks like magic outside of Hogwarts is allowed on this field. Oh, actually the Ministry of Magic turned a blind eye to this place too.
That takes some incredible upper body strength, I'll tell you that much. Everybody's not doing that. Did he just like dislocate the show? How did he do that? Alright, so this kid is super flexible and his toes are made out of steel. Yeah, I know. This man's feet are strong.
Rumour has it that it was this kind of workout that helped Messi get his 7th Ballon d'Or. This is how you look when you assemble furniture from IKEA, following the instructions.
IKEA.
That feeling when you land on a chair harder than this dude from heaven to earth.
Oh, that's not gonna ambush. Oh, I was wrong. That ended pretty well.
Bug in my rug.
Wasn't bad at all.
And it came from right here. So I grabbed some gloves and I just want to rake my hands through it because, oh my gosh, if there's any more in here, I'm gonna lose my mind. So I'm just gonna do this real quick. Here we go.
Watch the whole carpet be made out of bugs. Knew that was coming. The whole carpet was gonna be made out of bugs. We had to throw the whole house away.
Girls say that your shampoo can damage their hair, and then they do this.
Oh, that's crazy. Must have went outside right after they washed their hair. That's insane. And it was that cold?
Can you take a picture of us? Yeah, wait. Okay, let me stop it.
When it looks exactly like a pina colada, and you don't see why Mum is screaming. Looks like the beginning of the 127 Hours movie.
Oh.
But check out the ending.
He's got a parachute. That's still scary as ever, man. Can you imagine dropping from that height? And not knowing how it's going to end? Ain't no way. Man got a Spider-Man outfit on. I mean, I
If
guess
you
that's
don't know
one
how
way
to
to get
cook,
the
this
customers.
doesn't mean that you can't impress your guests. Those who transition to freelance expect their future to look like that.
You got some faith
What
in
it
whatever he
actually
was
looks like.
sitting on.
If the Cthulhu suddenly appeared out of there, the guys in the video would hardly be so happy.
Very good. Great. Great.
Actually, this is the explosion which marked the final step in the construction of a special drainage system. Water from this lake will flow to the nearest dam through the tunnel. We just want to wish you to achieve impossible things with as much confidence as this ball.
Pretty cool. I wonder what's the science behind that one.
Feels like this stunt is more difficult for the guys below. As this girl wrote in the caption, don't neglect your flexibility and mobility. Okay, now let's get off the couch and just repeat these exercises 3 times, guys.
A lot of flexibility there. I'm sure it took her a long time to achieve that. That wasn't like overnight type stuff at all. She's probably been a gymnast or is a gymnast. Oh.
You scroll through your feed in a traffic jam. This guy plays a PlayStation in a traffic jam. You're just not the same.
This guy is in traffic, ripping PS4, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hilarious.
No biggie. No biggie.
What those 5-minute Instagram breakfast recipes look like in real life.
How do we stop it? Stop. What is it?
Man, is the whole toast on fire?
Burning.
Oh, they plunged. That blonde was the best idea? Oh, no.
To feel what this girl feels, try to hold your breath at least for a few minutes and swing your arms and legs all that time. Freediving is already considered one of the most dangerous forms of diving, but submerging 40 feet deep without fins can be considered an actual feat, though it's insanely beautiful.
He trusts. He trusts Faith. 'Cause that was like...
They say the branded
One
surfboard
wrong move,
makers
it
put
was
a
over.
bounty on this guy's head.
Is she surfing with a table? A coffee table at that? He doing the most.
Few people know it, but this is how they prepared the first dog that flew into space.
Alright, boys? Go, go. Okay, go so fast. Grab the what?
This
Oh,
year,
he had a
don't
parachute,
expect
'cause
Santa on a reindeer
ain't gonna help.
sleigh. The old wizard and his
Ain't that
assistants are now riding brutal-looking horses. And that's it for today, buddy. Give it a like if you don't feel bored anymore. And don't miss the next video.
Alright. I think that's going to conclude the videos I have prepared for today. You guys could definitely like, comment, share, subscribe, what have you. It'd be greatly appreciated. Let me reshape this thing. Regardless of the fact, I'm here. This was my first reaction video. If you guys see me fiddling with my phone, it's because it's kind of difficult for me to have the chats all together or what have you. So that's all it is. So in this situation here, trying to figure out what if I want to end it here. I might end this one here because I don't want any confliction between what this was, and then I'll probably start up another stream for my gaming. Yeah, for my gaming. So I might be back on in a little bit. Don't quote me on that. But if you guys see me, just check me out. Yeah, this will conclude my first reaction video. It was interesting, nonetheless. But that last video was a little good. But yeah, if you guys could please like, comment, share, subscribe. See you guys next time. And I'm out of here. Still saying I'm streaming, but how? Alright, guys.